Hey guys, welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect. Today we're going to be setting up an automated Steve's Carts tree farm. So I hope you guys are ready. So today we're going to work on a sustainable source of fuel. And a good way to do that is by making a tree farm. There's several different ways that we could do that, but I think getting into some Steve's Carts, since carts and sort of that kind of stuff is going to be very important in this pack. And it's going to be kind of interesting because we have Railcraft, we have Steve's Carts, we have several other different things like computer craft and turtles and things like that that we can try out. But I want to try and set up some Steve Carts simple tree farm automation, so it shouldn't take too much to do that. And we do already have the resources available already to do that. So obtaining charcoal is going to be very important to me, considering we're working on IC2 and the early form of power is going to be coal or charcoal. So that's what we're going to be needing to dive into. So before we can even get started, we need to make a cart assembler. This is going to require, as you can see, some actual stone, and it's going to require some of these simple PCBs. This is just some gold and some redstone and some iron, and I already have some of this processed up. As you can see, I got tons of redstone from those beehives, which was nice for magical bees. And this, I've just been putting coal in one piece at a time as needed, simply to get this thing up and rolling, because this thing will consume your coal and waste it. And we don't have the resources to be dealing with that right now. You can automate it with redstone and stuff like that using some other means, but we'll worry about that later. Trying to make this efficient. One thing that we definitely need to make, I guess we can go ahead and do that now, is we can go ahead and blend up some pulverized copper and some tin. And I was saving this for you guys, and we'll get some of this bronze. And this is actually going to be very nice, so let's go ahead and throw some bronze in there. I think I need to grab, a couple pieces of coal since we're completely out. So if you put 2 pieces of coal in here, that lasts quite a while. When this fills up all the way, it'll still consume the coal, even though you don't need it. So you need to kind of be weary of that and keep an eye out. So what we're going to use this bronze for is not armor, not tools. No. We're going to use it for a wrench, just like so. Not the forestry wrench. I hope it doesn't give us a forestry wrench, but the IC2 wrench. We'll worry about that in a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and get that Steve's Carts made. We need some stone as well, so I have plenty of cobblestone. And we should probably throw that in here as well. All right, let's get rid of you. And yeah, we'll get that going. So, making some stone. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. I don't think I have... Oh, I do. I have a stack of it right there. So that'll be helpful. Alright, let's go ahead and dive into this mod. Make sure all my stuff is nice and organized. Alright. Steve's Carts. A little bit of iron, a little bit of gold, a little bit of redstone. Should be pretty easy to make. And we'll need 2 of those. At least for right now. We're going to have more later on. And a Steve's Carts assembler. Awesome. This is how we're going to actually make our cart. It doesn't really use power, but it does use coal. So we are going to have to do that. Now you see there are several parts here. We have engines, the tool that the cart will use, any attachments you're going to have, storage, and then add-ons. For this cart, we don't really need much, right? We just need an engine. We need a coal engine. So we need some pistons. So that should be pretty simple to make. The only thing I think I'm running out of is wood. Wow, the one thing I don't have is a lot of wood, which is understandable. So, I'm going to go ahead and grab some of that. We don't need too much of it, just enough to make a few things. We're fixing to have a lot of wood. That's why I kind of been on leaving wood chopping to the back burner, because we're about to automate it, and I really don't want to spend too much time doing it by hand. It's just kind of wasting precious time that I could be, getting through resources and doubling my ore and things like that. So let's grab a bit of that. That's probably all we need. That's pretty decent. We should be able to jump through here. So last episode we had a couple issues with the audio. I know we're working towards fixing it. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying out some new software and everything, seeing if this is going to work, and hopefully it fixes everything. It seems like it did a pretty good job last time I checked. So things should be up and rolling, and we should be able to get these episodes pumping out pretty good. All right, so pistons, right? We need some wood. Bam. And cobblestone. I know I just had a bunch on me. There it is. All right, so a couple pistons. That will get us a coal engine. And the coal engine is going to be really nice. That's going to just get us some fuel, and we'll be able to get things going. We're also going to need a standard hull. This is going to require iron wheels and some sticks, which we have those laying around. Perfect. So yes, was it sticks like, it was sticks like that. We need 2 of those. And like so, literally like makes it look just like a cart. And now we have a standard hull. That's what we need. So we have the standard hull, the engine, and we need to add a few add-ons, a few little bits and pieces here to get this thing going. We need a basic wood cutter, and this is where diamond's going to be required. And we also need some saplings, which we should have plenty of saplings at this point. There's 8 regular saplings. I might mix and match because we don't want all those to be those saplings. And we're also going to need some side chests right here. So this is going to require a bit more wood. As you can see, 32 of those little panes. It's just like a, yeah, we'll make a lock. Let's see if we can make this. We're missing a couple logs. Out of everything. I don't want to chop this tree down. It's got bees on it. But we'll see how many we can actually get from this. I think 2 of those equal 1 whole chest, and then the side chest is what it equals to. So yeah, that shouldn't take too long to get. So the side chest is now complete. That's pretty easy, right? And this will be our storage for our cart. And last but not least, we need the basic wood cutter. Like I said, this is going to require a little bit of diamond and a little bit of this. So we need 2 more of these simple PCBs. We can go ahead and hit this bottom button to clear the grid. And we'll have to make the advanced PCB for this one. Cover that advanced PCB in some saplings. I think we can mix and match. Yes. So I'm going to save some of these oak saplings. This is what we're going to use for our main, like, tree growth. Let's do that. There we go. Wood cutting core. And we're going to need to grab the diamonds that we gathered. We technically only need 5 diamonds for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So let's go ahead and make 5 of these. And it leaves us with 1 diamond left over, which is fine. We'll find some more diamond later on. And that is a woodcutter, and it has a module cost of 34. So this should be everything we need to make a simple cart that will work. So, engines. I think we need to put our cart in here first. That unlocks everything. You can see our cart in there. We can rotate it around. Our engine needs to go in here. That's going to put an engine on the back. We're going to have some attachments or storage, side chests, and the tool, the basic woodcutter. And that's pretty much it for our cart. That is pretty simple, right? I'm pretty sure that's all we need to get this to go. It says the total cost, or the total time is going to be 11 minutes. I believe that is all we need, right? I believe we have a hydrator. We don't need any of that stuff. Fertilizer. I don't think we're going to need that either. That would technically, I think, help the trees grow faster. I think that's about it. Later on, we could probably do some upgrades. I don't, right now I'm not too concerned. If anything, you could probably put a solar panel in here to put like a basic solar engine. We don't have glowstone or anything right now, so I'm not going to do that. We're just going to stick with this. I think this is going to work out just fine. So we need to give it some fuel. So I'm going to take a stack of coal, very simple machine. We're going to stick it in here, and we're going to hit assemble. And this is actually going to take 11 minutes here, real time, to complete. So while we're waiting for that, we can get a few other things done. Man, oh man, isn't the sunrise just absolutely amazing looking? Whew. Anyways, like we were saying, I needed to also get some rails made because we're going to need a few rails. Those are just regular vanilla. We don't have to worry too much about it. But we do need a few machines. We need a cargo manager. And this guy is going to require some iron and some chests, it looks like. So pretty much the same thing. And then we also need some advanced detector rails. And we get 2 of them. We only need 2 of them anyways. All right, so large dynamic pane. Not going to be too difficult. Just a few iron parts. I have actually made this system in the past, so if you guys can check that out, I have several videos on Steve Carts if you guys want to look into those. But I've definitely done this setup in the past in different ways. Definitely, this one's going to be a pretty small farm just to get us started early on. All right, so cargo manager. Let's just go ahead and make this thing. Dynamic pane. Like I said, we're going to need a bunch of these iron panes here. And yep, there's 16. That's not going to be that many, but it'll get the job done. We need a few of these. We'll try 8 for right now. I don't remember how many we actually need. We need what? Oh, just 4. I've already made too many. And then we need a large iron pane. And these. Okay, so I'm going to have to go, get some more wood. And I'll be back here in a little bit. So while that's all being processed, while we're waiting for all that to work, we need to find a few things. One being some sand, which we already have plenty of, and the other being clay. And the reason why is because to get into Railcraft, to even make a vanilla rail, we have to get into a little bit of Railcraft, and we have to create some creosote oil, and we're also going to need to make ourselves a rolling machine. So all of that is going to require some clay, which means I need to go down into some watery areas and find some precious clay. Yes, because we're going to need to turn this stuff into brick, and that's how we're going to be able to make our first coke oven. Good old-fashioned Railcraft coke oven from back in the day. Not the immersive engineering one, the one from Railcraft, if any of you guys remember that. I don't know. It may bring back some memories once we start to make it, but this thing definitely brings back memories for me. So yes, we're going to find a little bit of clay, not too much, and I'll be back. So now that I have enough of the materials, we should be able to go ahead and craft some of these. I'm going to go ahead and make 10 for right now and kind of show you how this structure is supposed to begin while we wait for all of our other materials to sort of work through. Let's go ahead and break through this little area because I'm going to extend it and I'm going to place it right here. So all you got to do is place it on the ground like so, and the center is going to be hollow. So we're going to leave the center area hollow, and as you can see, we're just going to build around just like you would in an immersive engineering coke oven. Except for this one, like I said, it's just going to be a little bit different. So the center is actually hollow on this one. Also, this electric furnace is way faster than your normal furnace, so it definitely you'll need to probably use this more. Also, it stores your experience, so you can kind of collect that whenever needed. Also, if you're interested and you say, there's no quest book or anything like that, and you want some kind of guidance through any of these mods, you can hit L on your keyboard. And, Minecraft itself has its own tab to pretty much help you advance, but so does most of the mods. So, BuildCraft, if you're interested in get through that, it has its own advancements tab. You have Applied Logistics, it helps you. Railcraft has its own. Steve's Carts and stuff like that has its own. This isn't Steve Carts, this is something else. I think this is through, no, I think this is Railcraft. So, like I said, Railcraft, all that stuff has advancements. A lot of things have advancements, so just because you don't have the tab doesn't mean it doesn't exist. A lot of times you have to at least craft one of the first items in order to unlock the tab. So like Twilight Forest has one, and several other mods definitely have some advancement tabs. So if you're needing some guidance through the mod, I mean, at least you have that at your fingertips. So I know some people were, kind of complaining that they didn't have that, but, it definitely works. So we have this stuff, right? We're getting close. Now, it does look like it's a controller, but it's really not. This is what the center block will eventually look like. But believe me, over time, it's going to make itself a multi-block once it's finished. So while we're waiting for all of our clay and stuff to build up for the coke oven, there's also another machine called the rolling machine that we're going to need to get into. And this one's actually pretty simple. Just like I said, requires some lovely, lovely pistons, which that's the least of our worries. So let's go ahead and grab that. We'll make the 4 pistons that it requires. Let's grab some extra wood, which we should have laying around here somewhere. There we go. Perfect. And like stuff like this, if we hit A on it, we can actually pull it up over here. So if we ever need to craft a piston now, it shows up on our left-hand side as like an auto selector. So bam, There's our pistons. And yeah, that would actually really help for some IC2 components. You can just have them over here, so you can just right click them as needed. Very, very handy. All right, so gears, like stone gears, like all these gear components, they're going to be really handy to have placed over here. So let's grab some sticks. And like I said, we can just pop this in. Bam, there's our gears. And stone gear is another one that's going to be very handy to have on here. So let's see how many stone gears we can make. 4, perfect. And then last but not least, we can make bronze gears. So we already have 16 bronze that we made earlier. We throw that in on the stone gears. Bam. And we can make all the bronze gears. We just need to make a crafting table. And there's a rolling machine. Very simple, very simple. And you can see that it did complete an advancement here, and it's going to tell us how to make some other things like vanilla rails. A rolling machine, you know, it has its own recipes. So you can see right here, this is going to make the standard rails, and standard rails are going to require this wooden rail bed in order to make some rails. So yeah, it's like more realistic. But as you can see, this requires creosote oil, and that's what we're going to be working towards making right now. So last but not least, here is our coke oven brick, the last one we need, because we need 5 more to complete this multi-block. So if you take a look over here, all we need to do now is just finish this thing. And as you can see, there is our coke oven. Now, what we need to do, as you can see, you can access it from all sides, is place, well, you guessed it, some coal in here. I'm going to go ahead and get 32 and place that in here. And what it's going to do is it's going to take 90 seconds for each one of these coal pieces inside this coke oven, as you can see right here, to produce a little bit of creosote oil. If you do blocks, of course, you're going to get a lot more. Creosote oil is something that we probably need, so it might be best if we do blocks instead of a single item. So let's go ahead and make a couple blocks. That seems more logical. So let's just do, out of what we had, let's just do 3 blocks. We'll throw that in here. Because as you see, I mean, it may be exact. I don't know. We'll have to calculate this to see. So what is it? 500 times 9? That's 45. It's exactly the same. So I guess it really doesn't matter. In times, though, would 90... So yeah, it's exactly equal, which is, I'm kind of surprised. I would think that it would be a little bit different, but it looks like you can also do 90 seconds, and it'll also give you a little bit of creosote if you do wood to charcoal as well. So this would be a good method of getting some charcoal. But like I said, that creosote is definitely what we're after. So we're going to do a little bit of waiting here, and eventually we'll get some of that creosote, and we'll be able to actually make some rails. And our cart is already done. So here's our cart, our modular cart, and we're pretty much ready to go. Over here, we have our cargo manager, and we have our advanced rail detectors, and our modular cart, and all we need now is to kind of wait for some creosote so we can make some rails. Something we can kind of do, though, we can go ahead and get this going in the rolling machine. We can go ahead and set this up to do this, and it says click to craft, so as soon as you click that, it'll craft it, which is really nice. And that will give us 8 standard rails. If we take a look at the uses for 8 standard rails, we only need 6 to make 32 rails. Yeah, it's not that bad, actually. We don't want to make abandoned tracks, but we do want to make these standard Minecraft rails. And yeah, we're going to need a little bit of creosote for that. Just a tad bit. It looks like a bucket will get us 1. So we need at least 4 buckets, sorry, of this stuff. In order to get everything we need, which is perfect. That's 1 whole block of this creosote. That'll, like I said, it'll produce 4,000, so 4 buckets worth in its one go, 4,500 millibuckets. So whenever this is finished, we will have our rails, and we can get started and get a tree farm set up. So our creosote oil is now ready to go, which means we can actually make some rails, which is awesome. So let's go ahead and make some bottles. There we go. And inside these bottles, we can just place them in here. And that should give us 4 and should leave 500 creosote left over right there. Perfect. And we also have some nice fuel here. Look at that. 32. So yeah, this definitely improves your coal burnability. So like it gives it more burn time, which is perfect. So now we have that, we should be able to go ahead and now take some slabs and make some lovely wooden ties. Combine those like that, we get a wooden rail bed, and that will get us 32 regular Minecraft tracks. And we're going to utilize these. So let's go ahead and get a basic setup going here. We're going to go ahead and place the cargo manager each side of those. And we're just going to go ahead and build ourselves a very, very, very simple tree farm. I want to keep this in the center so that way a tree can go here and here. And also make sure we have enough rails as well, because we really don't have that many rails. So there's 13. And I guess we can go ahead and extend this over here more. Kind of broke that, didn't I? So yeah, we're going to have this going in just one direction, which is going to work out just perfect. There we go. Extend this out. That should work. And that should be just about right. Can we extend this out just one more, maybe? We'll find out. Let's extend this one more. Perfect. Because we have 2 rails left, which is just the right amount. Awesome. So it's going to place trees all around here, mainly all through here as well. You might want to clear this out just a little bit. Give it a little bit more room. Perfect. And let's go ahead and get our modular cart installed. So if we place this bad boy here, you can see it's going to go in a certain direction. It does have an internal inventory here. So you have the woodcutter, you have this little area, I think is for putting more diamonds in to repair your woodcutter, because it does have a durability. And then we have our fuel here, and this is our side chest, is where all of our stuff can go. If you had more stuff, there's a sidebar over here. So this is a very, very simple machine, which means you have a very, very simple cargo manager setup. Let's go ahead and kind of tell this thing what to do. And we're going to get this thing automated so that way charcoal can be refilled back into here. Awesome. So on this side, this is going to be our refuel. So on the blue, we're going to set this to change part of the right here. It's going to go into the engine slot. You can see there's different slots here. This is going to be the engine slot though. Let's go back to the engine slot. There it is. And right here, you can say, I want it to go out of the engine slot into the cargo manager, or we can have it go from the cargo manager into the engine, which I think is what I want. And I just want to make sure that that is how that works. We can do that by pushing this guy back, right? Or breaking it. Setting it on there. There we go. And you can see it just did a little thing. Let's go ahead and break this, because it'll do it again this time. There we go. It consumed it, and it should have placed it inside the fuel slot. And now it's going to do its thing, right? On the other side that is yellow, we're going to have this be changed. We're going to have that go in here, and we're going to say pull from the storage slot and have that go into the cargo manager. So that should be ready to work. All we got to do is give this bad boy some saplings. So with this cart running, let's go ahead and throw in some saplings into this slot right here. And it's going to start placing saplings, as you can see. And it's going to place it where it thinks it should be placed best. So I'm probably going to put some torches in these areas, just in between where it's placing these saplings. Give this bad boy some light. Let's see, it places them here, places them not there. So yeah, I'm just going to place them as you see here. And eventually these trees are going to grow. Let's go ahead and get some bone meal, because I need to get this automation set up. So we should have hopefully enough bone meal to potentially grow one of these trees. Awesome. So there's a tree grown. It's going to stop and it's going to tear down the tree. Look at that. Oh, you got to love that. It's going to break the wood. Or at least it should break the wood. Given that it has everything. Oh, and it also gathered 2 saplings from that. Oh, it's out of fuel. because honestly we only gave it one coal. So let's make sure to give it some more fuel. It's going to finish breaking all that. Oh, it just reversed. That's okay. It's going to go back around. We'll give it some more fuel. There we go. So now it should sustain itself for a little bit longer. And there you go. It's going to break the wood. Now, whenever that other external inventory gets full, so... Oh, we don't actually want the wood going in this fuel, but I guess... I don't know how to actually prevent that from happening. Maybe just make sure it has enough coal in there? Because I guess it's going to keep using wood as fuel. Wish there was a way to blacklist that, but there's not. But anyways, it should unload everything whenever it's done. But for right now, you basically just have to wait for some trees to grow, and then we can finally get this thing going. But we should be able to export out of here, and I was thinking about using BuildCraft as a kind of neat way of doing it. We do have these sides that we can use for potential BuildCraft use. And I was thinking about getting into that, getting into some BuildCraft and just having it have items simply pumped into that. So, if we take a look at BuildCraft, we have a redstone engine, which just requires a piston, and I think we're going to need 2 of these to get this thing going, and 1 to pump that out. So, we need 2 pistons. So some iron, redstone, some good old wood, and cobblestone. Right, piston, 2 of those, and then a redstone engine requires some glass and some wooden gears. I think I have the glass on me. Yep. Perfect. Alright, so 2 of those. Perfect. These are going to require levers as well. Might as well make those. And getting into the BuildCraft item transport. We need wooden transport pipes. So 8 of those are fine. That's going to be our extract. And then we also need I guess we could use cobblestone, since we really don't need it that fast. So some cobblestone transport pipes would honestly work pretty well as to get the job done. All right, we're also going to need a furnace. 1 will get the job done, and this should get like a very simple automation going. So we're probably going to have to break this sapling and this sapling, remove these torches, and I think we can export directly out of the sides of this thing, I believe. So let's go ahead and try. So we need a wooden transport pipe. 1 is going to be pulling out, so we can set that here to pull out. We're going to need a furnace that is going to be a couple blocks above. So we'll put a furnace here. Ow, I don't know what hurt me there. Oh, I guess it ran into me, hurt me. I better eat some food. Right, because we're going to need it to go into the... I guess it can go into the face, but we also need it to go into the top. And the bottom's going to have its own extraction point. Okay, so let's push this out, that up. That's going to go there. Oh, we got a tree that just grew. So we'll have to get that fixed. And we can put the engine on the bottom here. I think that'll work perfect. Awesome. So let that thing do its thing. And we're also going to... Well, that's going to be for the fuel. The bottom is where it outputs. So yeah, this is perfect. Just like that. Right there. And unfortunately, if all these inventories are full, it will spill the items onto the ground. And the only way to prevent that is to add more furnaces later on to hopefully keep up with the system. But I don't think we're going to have to run into that problem, because this should fill, and whatever excess we have, we're going to utilize for charcoal. Alright, so this is going to need an extract pipe on the bottom of it. And that might actually work, just like that. Let's put a redstone engine on there. Technically, we can put a redstone engine right here. I think we need a way to rotate this. I think a wrench would probably work. We do have some bronze. So let's go ahead and make that wrench. I think this will rotate this as well. Well, I guess we can't put a redstone signal on this, so it's probably best for us not to have it there. It's probably best for us to have it here. We'll just place it down here. Perfect. That will get the job done. Alright. So, thing left to do here. Put a lever there. Flip that bad boy on. That'll get that started. Perfect. Grass should grow eventually. That's going to pull out anything that ends up in there. And a lever here. That should hopefully fill this thing with coal. Once we have the wood in there. So, let's grab some wood and see if we can't try this bad boy out. Just make sure that everything works. So I should be able to put... We see the wood getting pulled. It's really slow there. We might need some other rails, potentially. That should go in there. Should go into the top and the bottom. Does it not go into the face of a furnace? Should definitely go into the face of the furnace. If not, I'm just going to rotate this to the side. Just like so. And that'll go in there. Okay, so yeah, that works. And let's see if this extracts and puts it into the right slot. So that's the other thing that I'm worried about. Ah, this is backwards. It ended up flipping itself. There we go. And that should send it to the wrong slot. So I think I've come up with a solution. Steve Carts has an external distributor, which is very, very useful now that I've kind of figured the little thing out. I don't know why that's building up there. But basically what we can do, the only problem we have apples still going up here, which we'll figure that out. What we have here is the distributor just sitting on top of our cargo manager. I have my cargo manager. You can click this and change it to its actual different components. So now this will be set and actually have a color. It'll actually have the variable being like whether it's going into the cart or being pulled from the cart. So I have all these other ones being pulled from the cart. So it has a color, and it also has another variable being the actual slot side. So when you click on this external block, you can see there's all these colors. Now this looks like yellow, but it's really orange on the top. Yellow, I do believe, is on this side. So yeah, this has configurable sides, and you can pull or export from it. And what it's going to do, it's going to connect to this like a multi-block, and it's going to give you the ability to choose what you're pulling out of or putting into. So that's going to work awesome. So basically, I have this pulling out wood from the red side. As you can see, I just have it marked blue, but honestly, I can just mark it like this, and it will work either way. But you can choose any of these options, to be honest. And then the orange side, I have it going to the yellow, which you can see right here. And this is where my coal is going to build up. And the coal is just going to feed into there. So once we get a backup, we should get a backup of coal. We'll see it backed up into here. Hopefully, if everything goes smoothly, that is, we should be able to maintain it. And this should technically run. The only other thing is maybe make this a bigger farm later on down the road. And other than that, this thing should maintain itself. So like if we split this up, for an example, while this guy is doing its rounds, every now and then these trees have been growing. This will complete. This will go into the hopper. I did have it set up with this, but I was like, it's no big deal. Should go into the hopper. It's already actually, it went into the machine. So as you can see, we have charcoal built up in there. So yeah, that technically is automated using the external distributor, which is actually really, really cool and very useful for this setup. Now, I could technically make this a lot neater, but I wanted to use some of the BuildCraft. It never gets used. in a lot of packs. This pack is going to be very cool to use some BuildCraft stuff. And you can actually do some sorting with filtered pipes. So there are filters and stuff like that you can do with the BuildCraft. Let's see, these are different color filters, but that's not what we want. We also have filtered buffers, the diamond pipe. That's the one that gives you the filtered ability. So technically, later on, I can just go, I don't want apples. I don't need apples going in here, so I'll definitely make sure to prevent apples from going in there. But for right now, there's nothing I can really do about it, other than having a stockpile of wood in here. And other than that, I just gotta wait for some trees to grow. But technically, we have a tree farm that just relies on a little bit of coal and can produce charcoal for us, which I think is super cool. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned a little bit about Steve's carts. If you did, don't forget to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and also give this video, guys, a huge thumbs up. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next episode, and as always, thanks for watching.